I mean, that's the point of it all, right?
Well, I seem to get shot in the back more than anybody else I play with. I do tend to get shot in the back, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do get shot in the back a lot more than everybody else.
Well, I mean, if possible, I'd shoot you in the back, but I mean,
Well, you have to get the game and play.
Modern
I get
Warfare
shot from the side in Fortnite.
and Fortnite.
You'd have to,
Yeah.
You'd have to get the game to shoot me in the back.
I'd have to play it.
Mhm.
That would be a thing, right? I have one of my coworkers is like, how do you get streamers? And I was like, or how do you get viewers on your stream? I'm like, you just start streaming and people filter it, and if you're fun, they stay, and if I like to use fake swear words. The swear words you use as children,
Darn,
fart, booger, things that aren't swear words that are, silly when you say in rage sounds way more intense, right? So,
Oh, guess who I got into, Paul? Guess who I got into the Spartans? It's the server that we have for Call of Duty.
your mom?
No, Carrie.
Carrie?
Yeah, she plays. Yeah,
Dope.
she plays. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I saw her on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, do you play?" And she's like, "Yes." So I DM'd her. I went, "Look, you want to come jump in our server? We all help each other, and it's a lot easier when you play with the same people over and over again because you get to know how they play and blah 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 blah." And she's like, "Yes." I sent it off to her. So yeah, huh?
Cut that, Dad.
All right.
What? Are you live?
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah.
Oh, God's sakes! We could have said you were live.
Well, we were having such a wonderful conversation, and no one's in the stream yet. So
Nobody, and anybody who comes along
Just beep.
won't understand what you said, but
Yeah.
he can cut it after.
Yeah, I'll
it's
cut
live.
it in post. So
Just beep. No, you don't need to cut it. Just beep it. Just put a noise over when I say that name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, he can do the what do you call it?
So yeah.
yeah.
No, we've not played yet, but they've been stalling hard. It's like, come on, you said you wanted to play this week.
No, so after I get out of my trash compactor here, I'm going to be moving into a new studio. I'll be taking down my green walls because apparently I'm not allowed to put them up in the new place. My man cave is being stolen.
So use a curtain for goodness sake. What do you think I've got behind me?
No,
I never paint.
So this is what I'm gonna do. So we are live, and this is Breaking Bad batch, of course, but we're just goofing off till we get started. But here's the thing. This is what I'm gonna do. I've taken the closet doors because they're sliding doors off. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all of my foaming, my paneling in the closet, and then put my desk inside the closet, and then build like a little, I don't know. Knowing me, it's going to be like cardboard and nastiness just like up around me, and I'll be in like a little hut,
Change that to Breaking Bad Batch Season 2, Paul. Well, don't change it. Add it. Add Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2.
Should I do
The
my
Revenge.
intro? Or how much longer do you have, Paul?
You have 4 minutes and 20 seconds until I go live.
Oh, all right. Well, so
420, dude.
So this is our inaugural episode, right? This is Breaking Bad batch
We did
season
one.
2 of season
2,
2,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Obviously, this is not season 1. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just crazy. We've seen season 1. Do we want to do a recap of what happened in season 1?
No, because that would mean talking about them. And I refuse to talk about them.
He doesn't like the Martez sisters.
Oh,
Dad.
the sisters Martez.
Yeah. Those awful characters that are just the crap characters.
They're not.
They are. They're crap characters. They're terrible, awful characters.
They're better in Breaking Bad or in Bad Batch than they are in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but that's not hard to do because
They're
they
really-
were
yeah.
really awful in.
They are.
Yeah.
They were.
They're
They
the
were
reason
awful.
that nobody watches those 4 episodes. They are the reason why I do not watch episodes 5, 6, 7, or 8. I will not watch those 4 episodes of that season because it's like don't care about them.
So while you're complaining about this, and again, I'm gonna say, unjustifiably so. I think they're wonderful characters. Now I'm gonna look real quick. I'm over here on IMDb, and I'm looking at season 7, and I'm looking at the star rating. So episode 1 with the Bad Batch, 8.2. A Distant Echo, 8.1. Episode 3, 7.7. 8.5 for 4. That's when they rescue Echo. Gone with a Trace. This is with the Martez sisters. Drops to 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Deal No Deal, which is the dumb one, 6.1. Dangerous Debt, 6.0. Together Again, it actually jumps to 7. And this might be because the sisters aren't really in that episode. and it ends with, I think, with Rex, right? With her being called back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then obviously Old Friends Not Forgotten. This is 7-9. This is when they come back. 9.7. The Phantom Apprentice, 9.9.
Mm-hmm.
The last 3 episodes, the last 3 episodes
The
are
last 3 episodes are
9.9.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Yeah. It drops mid-season.
Yeah,
1
it
minute,
drops.
10 seconds till I go live.
1 minute 10.
There's nothing interesting.
There's
They're
nothing
just-
of
they're just
substance.
Blah. You know, they're just meh. You
Yeah.
know, and you can't put meh in a series as epically good as crack. I mean, all right. You know, I did point out I had some legitimate constructive criticism about the first 4 episodes,
Mhm.
especially about what Anakin and the Bad Batch were doing. You know, on that planet. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because I made you think about that episode in a completely different way with
Yeah.
regards to trying to, you know, force force their ideals and basically force their war on the population, you know, the indigenous population of the planet, and how horrible and evil and just
All right.
nasty it was.
You
know?
ready for us to come in? Neil?
I'm ready.
All right. And the Escape Podcast starts in 3, 2, 1. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the inaugural episode of Season 2 of Breaking Bad Batch and what is now the original The Escape Pod cast. There you go, Neil. Does that make you happy? Now you got a big what do you call it? You put a tripod in the way. What are you doing?
No. That's not a tripod. No, he's got one of the bartender things, right? That's an IG-88 head that he's gonna be using to drink while we do this.
I'm doing this. I'm doing this so I can put some interesting virtual backgrounds on.
Of course you are.
Okay.
But this is essentially the Escape Podcast. You know, we did the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes show for the longest time. We've passed that as of this year. We've passed that over to Old Man Logan and Brian Kane. They're going to be taking over the Swaga show, but does that mean we could talk about Swaga during the show now?
No, I don't want to talk. What? I just don't want to talk about it. Why would we want to talk about it?
There's a chance.
I'll put my earphones on.
Just plug them in.
So, thank you so much for joining us. And if you're looking for the Galaxy of Heroes show, that will be heard this Friday and put up on the podcast networks at that time. And if you're looking for the Marvel Strike Force show, that will be next Friday with Kyle, Nick, and Flair. So, all right. Well, we are here to talk about the show. Why don't you explain what we do with this show and why it's on a Tuesday night of all things, Thad?
We do it on a Tuesday night because we feel like that's the only time that Kathleen Kennedy sleeps during the week, and we know that she
doesn't sleep. She doesn't sleep.
Well, hibernates, cocoons.
Hibernate.
It's really when she feeds, right off the blood of creatives, and we feel like while she's feeding, they can't watch us. Like her like shields go down, I guess. And this is when our most constructive criticism can actually get through. It's kind of like the assault on the Death Star, right? This is why we do it. Now, the other reason why we do it, and some may argue that this is the more logical reason why we do it, is because the next episode comes out on tomorrow, right? Actually, it is 9:22 my time, 11:22 Eastern time. This is just hours away.
Yeah.
Right? The next episode.
For those who are like, oh my God, spoiler alert. Look, we did this at the last possible moment to prepare for the next week's episode, okay?
Mhm.
If you haven't watched it by now, don't tune into this show yet.
Yeah. Don't what? It's
Now, what we will do is we will
Wrecker dies.
Oh, no, he doesn't die. He becomes a transformer.
Fake spoilers. Fake
like
spoiler
episode
alert.
2, Wrecker becomes a transformer.
Well,
We won't
also,
get there yet, but I mean,
don't forget, in episode 2, Tick becomes a flea.
yeah, Tick.
Kick.
She fought off a pretty serious batch of crabs in
Yeah.
episode 1,
God.
which those look painful if they were to like,
Oh, God, you're
very
horrible.
irritating. But yeah, so we do it at the last minute so that people can have a chance to watch them, so that people can really come. They can look at all the spoilers. They can look at other breakdowns of videos and whatnot. And they can just come and they can enjoy the chat. They can enjoy the conversation, and kind of come prepared for maybe some spoilers or theories that they might have or rumors that they want to talk about, whatever. And it allows us to kind of have like a more laid back, kind of fun time. So cheers.
And if you are not familiar with this type of show with us, there's a lot of tangent alerts. We're gonna go off the rails a few times because that's what we do, but we're gonna give you our honest opinion about things. It's good to have Nev back on a Star Wars show.
Oh yeah, this is the first show in 3 shows, Nev.
No,
You didn't do
we're talking
Kenobi,
about-
you
I
didn't
did
do Andor.
Oh,
you
that's
did
right.
do
Andor.
You
You
did
did
do
do
Andor. That's right. That's
Of course
right.
I
It
did
was
Andor.
you didn't do Kenobi, and
I didn't do Kenobi.
it was just Kenobi.
It was just Kenobi, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
All right. And I guess we didn't do it for Visions.
We didn't do
We-
Visions.
I
We didn't
mean-
do Tales of the Jedi. Those
We
are
haven't done any. We haven't done any of the new seasons of Picard
No, for good reason.
for good
Uh,
reason,
Because
because it's not Star Trek.
well, I don't care about Star Trek.
It's Star Trek in name only.
Sexy captain guy's not in it.
Captain Rios.
Is he?
Captain Rios.
Yeah,
Rios.
Captain Rios is still there.
Well, maybe I need to go back. He's a handsome.
They brought back the entire. Did you know that they brought back the entire original cast?
I don't know who the original cast is, Nev.
They brought no TNG. They
Next
brought back the
Generation.
entire TNG, and nobody cares because the first few seasons were that
Garbage.
bad.
Yeah.
Sheer effing hubris.
Now, here's
That's when they lost me.
no. Here's talk about tangent alert. Here's what the sheer effing hubris is, Nev. when Captain Picard tricked Moriarty into his own holodeck inside of a holodeck and then send him out into space as a holodeck. That's hubris,
Okay.
Dev. That's
Okay.
hubris.
Yeah, but that was proper. That was proper Star Trek. That.
Yeah, sure. But I just
was
watched that
proper
a
Star
couple of
Trek.
days ago.
No, I've been watching. I've been watching old episodes of. I've been watching old episodes of The West Wing.
Oh, nice.
I know.
With
I
Gus
watched
from Psych.
Gus. Who's Gus?
You don't watch
Dooley Hill.
Psych, Neil?
No.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I mean, his character in The West Wing's
Yeah,
awesome. I
it's-
never watched Psych, so yeah. I
I'm
don't
watching
know.
that
The,
right
the,
now
act-
with my kids.
let's
the actor's great though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nev, do you want to quickly go over the events of season 1?
No. Thad can do that. I
Okay,
don't want-
so-
yeah.
Events of season 1 of Bad Batch.
Here we go.
Order 66 gets triggered. The Bad Batch resist it while the other clones are affected by it. Especially their buddy Crosshair, because good soldiers follow orders.
Especially Order 66.
Yes.
Better soldiers disobey illegal orders though.
So
That's
Crosshair tries to hunt down the rest of the Bad Batch. They end up on Camino and meet the original female version of Jango Fett, of a clone, by the name of
Strangely with an Australian accent.
well, I mean,
That's the
Tamara
thing, that's-
Morrison, the original Jango, was Australian. I have no problem with that. And who's to say that that's an Australian accent? No, that's a Caminoan accent.
Yeah, I think
It's
it
not a
could. I think
Kaminoan
it is.
accent. It's not. It's not. It's an Australian accent.
We
An
do
Aussie
know.
accent. If I want to listen to an Aussie, I'll tune into Heinzie. You know.
So never.
Hmm?
So never.
Oh,
I lurk from time to time. I like to know what they're roasting Rambam about from time to time, you know, because Rambam always does something stupid, and then it's like, right, I know what they're roasting him for. So the next time I speak to Rambam, I can roast him for that. Yeah.
yeah. So
I
Adam,
lurk. I don't talk. I just lurk on Swagger streams now.
So Adam Bundy in my stream points out that Tamar Morris isn't actually he's a New Zealander. He's a Kiwi.
He's not an Aussie.
He's
a
not an
Kiwi.
Aussie.
No.
Yeah. No.
Kiwi, the Kiwi accent and the Aussie accent are very different.
As an
That's
American,
that's like people that's like saying to a Canadian, oh, so you're an American then? No, I'm a Canadian. Oh, well, you sound like an American. It's like, no,
Hmm.
they don't.
no.
You know,
they've got that
English,
French
Scottish,
twang.
different. Canadian, American, different. Kiwi, Aussie, different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
We once again we did another tangent alert. So they go off world. They're trying to stop the Empire. It's not going so well, and they end up on Camino as the Empire practically, as much as you can to a water planet, glasses the damn place.
oh yeah, it was a wow type of a moment. Like to see and to know that this is what they did to Camino, but they did this to hundreds, if not thousands, of other planets across the galaxy during this time period. So like it was really, even though Camino was empty.
If you think that's bad, you should see what the Devastators did to planets. I mean, they've never included that in canon.
yeah.
But in the extended universe, the Emperor had like Devastators, and my God, Devastators got used on Akbar's home planet,
Yeah.
Moncalamari.
On
But
Call?
they never talk. They never talk about Moncal ever.
Yeah. Well, that's why, like,
We don't talk about Moncall, no.
So the Devastators, though, they were essentially more mobile Death Stars, right?
Well,
Right.
they
It
were
was
they
like
were they were processing plants. It would just destroy everything in its path, suck up all of the resources, and then spit out chips and stuff.
Then let me tell you, they have included the concept of that in modern canon.
Oh, okay.
In so slight tangent alert.
Are you going to mention the ships that were on Exegol?
No, not even that.
Really?
Yeah, in the book, it's like the princess
Aftermath series?
No, it might be in the Aftermath series. It was the wedding of Princess Leia. The Princess and the Scoundrel, I believe, is the name of the book.
Yes,
Han and Leia, they go on their honeymoon, and as they're on their honeymoon, they're kind of like, I don't know. They end up doing some kind of like service mission for Mon Mothma because Leia just can't take work off, right? And so she goes through all of this stuff, and essentially what's going on is they go to this planet that has these ground quakes, and what's going on is the Devastator. I mean, I think it's a similar concept. It doesn't sound exactly like what you're talking about, at least in my mind. But they have these plants that go through and they mine all of the resources from the core, and it essentially creates a hollow planet, and the planets just kind of implode eventually. So it sounds similar, if not identical. It's probably not identical, but very similar within concept. So yeah, I didn't realize that was in canon originally. So I know that they had mobile, essentially like Death Star technology on ships for a while, but not the same, I guess. So
we find in the final episode of season 1 that Crosshair is there on Kamino as well. He realizes that the Empire is practically not caring about anybody that's on the planet. And so Crosshair gets disenfranchised with following orders.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's clear he still follows orders, but he's willing to help out his brethren, the rest of his crew, even Omega, who I don't think he has any affiliation towards, any love towards. He's willing to save them. Now, it might have been this time only, but I really feel like it was kind of like the higher law. We also find out that Crosshair, too, had his chip removed. Or at least he said he did.
He said he did.
He said he did, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I could see that he would, but at the same time...
Did he have his chip removed after Order 66 or before Order 66?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Yeah. So, it's an interesting question. Now, we didn't see Crosshair in these first 2 episodes.
We did not. I was actually very surprised we did not see Crosshair, even in an aside.
Well, it was explained why we didn't see Crosshair.
Was it?
It was? I didn't catch it.
In the episode?
In episode 2, yeah. You're given a little reminder.
I mean, you're given a reminder as to why that he wasn't there to an extent.
Well, he wouldn't be there.
But where he's at right now would have made a nice little flash forward, flash back, or a side scene.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Now, I will say the next episode's called The Solitary Clone. It could focus entirely on Crosshair.
That would be cool.
That would be cool, right? I mean, it would kind of make sense to spend time with the crew and then, I don't know, time with the crew and then time with the with Crosshair and kind of see how the Empire's going about it. Now, Adam Bundy on my chat says that he believes that it was removed. Crosshair's chip was removed after his face got fried by the afterburner, which I
That
think
too.
makes sense.
That you know what? I had forgotten about that part
Yeah.
of the that was the episode just before the last one.
Yeah, well,
That
it was
was
just before
penultimate?
the arc, the last arc. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, this one's interesting. So in episode 1, we meet Wanda Sykes' character right off the bat.
I don't think I even got a name from that.
Fee Genoa
Okay.
is her name. She was they say her name one time, right? I don't even think they say her last name, but Fee is the name of the character. And so it is I don't know. So like Wanda Sykes has never been my favorite actress. She's not my favorite comedian. But at the same time,
She's a comedian?
she's a comedian. Yeah. She's got a whole stand up and everything. But at the same time, Rhea Perlman wasn't my favorite, and I was afraid that like the character that Rhea would bring to the show would just not be it pulled me out. And I gotta say, she was only there for a moment, but like it wasn't
It wasn't as jarring as
as
it
I was afraid.
Right.
know?
And plus it's not as jarring as it was in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I mean, you definitely can tell that it's Wanda Sykes and Andy Samberg.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands?
Yeah. They
What?
put out a game that is basically Tiny Tina running a D&D campaign.
I don't even know who Tiny Tina is.
In Borderlands?
Oh, I haven't played Borderlands.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a Borderlands game that has Andy Samberg and Wanda Sykes doing voice acting along with Will Arnett. I mean,
That
those
sounds
three names alone
yeah.
just practically say they're all
Buy me
recognizable individual voices.
Yeah.
That's the problem with hiring actors to be voice actors, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
And
You know,
now
Chris Pratt as Mario, you're gonna think Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, I already think Chris Pratt. I think that Mario is going to start off with Chris Pratt sitting on the toilet and being sucked into the toilet and becoming Mario. Right. I don't think it's going to be Mario, but
I still think it would have been more amusing to have Bob Hoskins. The original Mario.
the
you
original.
know, from the
But
original
isn't Bob
Mario.
Hoskins dead?
I think he is, yeah. It's a shame.
It would be amusing if he were to be brought back. It would also
well,
be
they
terrifying.
they can bring people back.
That's true.
They can bring people back from the dead.
That's
He
true.
died in 2014.
That's true. I mean, Walt Disney and Tupac Shakur and Biggie, they've been brought back. I mean, it's been a while, but
South Park brought back Biggie.
yeah, it's true. So anyways, like I was a little nervous. Now, I gotta say I'm kind of curious with Tech. Is
His fractured leg that happens in
not even that.
Really?
I'm curious
Okay, so
about
let's start at the
Tech.
beginning.
Yeah, this is where I'm curious about. Tech and Wanda Sykes' character, they may have. I think that was his attempt at flirting, right? Like she's like, "Hey, brown eyes," and he's like, "Hey,
All the clones have brown eyes.
all the clones have genotypic brown eyes." Yeah, that's smarts, right? I honestly think that's where they're gonna go with it. I think that Wanda Fee Genoa is gonna somehow, I don't know, seduce Tech, and it'll be a whole thing. I will say,
maybe on your subreddit that's erotica Star Wars, okay?
erotica Star Wars. I worry that might actually become something. It's a terrifying thought. It really is.
I'm scared to see if it's real.
I will not be going to Reddit tonight for that reason. But no, like it was interesting because he's finally called out, and there was something about these 2 episodes that felt tech heavy. You know, that to me, like we have Tech with Omega, they're spending time together. He kind of becomes a little bit of a father figure to her. You have Tech and Echo fighting in episode 2. You have them fighting over the reason for the financing, right? I think I don't know, like I just feel like we're gonna get a lot of I saw this somewhere that someone was complaining about how they didn't do a great job in season 1 really differentiating Tech and Echo as characters, like giving them their own kind of storylines, their own motivations and drives. I think so far they have. I mean, keep in mind that Tech is Clone Force 99. Tech is the Bad Batch. Echo is a rescued, half droid.
Right.
And while I don't know, they're going to have different motivations, right? And I think that we're going to see those 2 things kind of. I don't think we're going to see the divide within the Bad Batch at all. Maybe or maybe not this season, but I think that there will be maybe an opposing points of view. Echo absolutely wants to help other people, other clones, free themselves from the tyranny of the chip, or as in Neb's picture, chips, right? But Tech is more, I'll do what needs to be done, right?
Cass says this season will be about Tech bumping uglies. We almost made Thad's spit take on that one.
That would have been something.
That'll be the goal this season, is to get Thad to spit take.
Yeah. So no, but it was interesting. Like it's seeing those 2 dynamics and seeing them start so early off in the season, with Echo saying, we need to make more of an effort to, to build this out, to help others, right? We can't just be the only clones who've gone through this, And I think that's going to play a bigger and bigger role as the season and maybe even as the series continues, however long it continues for. Right.
Okay. So our first episode, we basically get refreshed that they're working for Rhea Perlman, and we find out that Count Dooku's war chest is being transported off-site.
Yes.
Death of Count Dooku and all that. So they're, let's get all this stuff back to Coruscant.
Yeah.
And of course, a war chest is going to have
You're missing something.
money. What am I missing?
You're missing something.
What am I missing?
You're missing the beginning of episode 1.
No, we talked about Omega having crabs.
No,
also
what I mean is that
Tech.
They were using lethal force against the crabs.
They were using lethal force against the crabs,
mm-hmm.
and interestingly
I just want to point that out now
because it will come back up in the second part.
It comes back up in the second part. Yeah,
you're right. That's a good point.
That's my main criticism of the show.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big style. It's pissing me off.
Really? All right. Well, I look forward to hearing more about it. I do. I will say though that there's a difference. One thing that I think we do need to talk about, and this I mentioned this a little bit, but one of the things is how Hunter is kind of trying to just keep his head down. Get the job done, keep his head down, keep a low profile, right? But then it's I always forget her name. It's the oh man, what is her name? The woman, the Trandoshan.
Describe the what?
The Trandoshan.
Rhea Perlman's character.
Yeah,
What
Rhea
was
Perlman's character. Yeah. Sid, right? Sid's pointing
Sid,
out,
thank you.
look, this is not going to last, right? This is not something that's going to continue. I, as a business person, will not be able to stay open, right? We even, and what's interesting about this is we even see this in Andor a little bit, how they're slowly taking over, and people are like, oh, it's not a big deal, until it is a big deal, right? But Sid, is like, look, this is my job is at risk here. I'm not going to be able to help you forever. Now, it could be this, and this could be foreshadowing that Sid's character doesn't survive, right? It could be. We won't know until it actually happens.
Everyone we see in these shows, because this is just before A New Hope, we expect every single person
to die
on this show to die before the series finale, or in the series finale.
Yeah. The interesting thing is this story is not meant to be one that runs parallel necessarily to like Luke, Leia, Han, right? It's even though it's a little before, obviously, it's not meant to be they're gonna eventually team up with the rebels. This is a show about these clones, right? And in that, what I think Filoni and Favreau are doing, or I think just Filoni for this one, what I think they're doing is deepening the universe, right? They're focusing on one section of the peoples, right? Which I love. I think is awesome. But I don't know. I don't know. You could be right, and everyone here could die. But again, this isn't supposed to parallel the other stuff, the other main story, right? It's just supposed to provide context to the bigger picture. So,
all right.
Rant aside. Rant
over. Okay, so they're using lethal force against the crabs. They're trying to, get this. That was before they went back to Sid. They brought that back. They brought what they got using lethal force against the crab back to Sid. They meet Wanda Sykes. They're told, "Hey, go after Dooku's war chest." And so here we are. They get half of them get trapped inside the cargo hold, or the cargo container.
Yep.
Of the ship, and half of them are basically running because they caused the distraction so that people could get in to the cargo containers.
Yep. This was interesting. I want to spend a little more time, like in my own time, not tonight, obviously. But I want to spend a little more time looking into what was in that cargo chest. Was there anything that we saw that we could have, like, did some eagle eye fan go frame by frame and notice something different? I was waiting for, something as phenomenally big as like Baby Yoda to show up.
It was just, what we saw was just credits and precious jewels, precious stones.
Yeah,
that's all we saw.
Yeah,
and that was just two. That was just two small crates in one of those big, massive things.
Yeah,
God knows what else was in those other crates.
Yeah, if it's Dooku, you're probably looking at maybe some like Sith artifacts or artifacts of
potentially
dark side.
Definitely potentially.
But we find out later.
They wouldn't know.
No, sure. They wouldn't know.
The clone troopers and the officers are not likely to know that, that they'll have been given orders, go to this planet, go to the vaults, empty the vaults, ship them off to this location,
Mm-hmm.
So they'll have just been emptying everything from, Dooku's palace and from his hoard. They
Yeah.
won't know what's in it. They don't need to know what's in it. They're just following orders,
Yeah.
like good little Nazis.
Yeah. Essentially.
Because good soldiers follow
Good
orders.
soldiers follow
Like
orders.
like good little Nazis, they're just following orders.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, what's interesting
Let's not forget that's what the Empire was based on.
Yeah,
Right.
It was. Yeah, this is
The entire time of the original story.
yeah,
George Lucas based the Empire on the Nazis.
yeah,
And Dave Filoni is supposed to be a student of
World
Lucas?
War II.
Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where my criticism will come in as soon as you start talking about it.
All right. Is there anything else in episode 1 that we want to cover? It was interesting.
Yes.
All right.
What would you like to cover, Neil?
Well, let's start off with, and it's getting tiresome now. I understood it in season 1. I did, because there was emotion attached to it. They thought that they were still fighting their comrades in arms from the Galactic Republic. But it ain't the Galactic Republic anymore. It's the Empire. Ergo, the Nazis. That's the analogy, right? Filoni knows this. He should know this,
Mhm.
right? Echo knows it. So why are they still stunning soldiers? Oh, we don't want to kill them. Really? Because they're gonna wake up from their stun. They're gonna follow more orders and kill more people. So your selfishness to not kill those 5 guys and just stun them because you feel some, tenuous link to them, despite the fact that they're a completely different batch of clones to you, now means that every single one of those soldiers, because you didn't want to kill them, are going to get posted somewhere else and probably kill innocent people. So the blood of innocent people are on the hands of the clone troopers. But that's not the half of it. The other half of it is they will use lethal force. They pick and choose. So you've got them shooting at ships, right?
Yeah.
They ain't using stun to shoot ships down and blow up ships. It's like, oh, so the guys flying vehicles, it's all right to kill them. But when it's a guy stood right in front of you shooting lethal, using lethal force against you, it's, oh, I'm just going to stun it. It's bollocks, and it needs to stop. All right?
I think
really,
we'll stop.
really, really does need to stop. They need to stop using non-lethal force on Empire soldiers. They are soldiers for the Empire. They are going to be ordered to do evil things, and they're going to go and do evil things. They are going to take innocent life, and every single clone trooper that the Bad Batch refuses to kill out of some tenuous emotional link from the past is going to cause the death and destruction and the life taking of innocent civilians. And it's getting Filoni, I don't understand why Filoni is doing this. I really, really don't. He should know better. They need to be constant. Everything needs to be lethal force all the time when they're fighting the Empire. And that's what confused me about the first episode. They were using lethal force on a population that was just trying to get they've just stolen something from an indigenous population, and that indigenous population is chasing them to try and get their property back. It's like, oh, we're going to kill you. We're going to try and kill you so that we can continue stealing. Not, oh, let's be a little bit nice. Let's try stun them. Because we are like the bad guys here. We're stealing something from them. Because I'm sorry, but at the beginning of episode 1, they're the bad guys.
They are.
They're stealing something. They are stealing from those crab people. Crab people. Yeah, they're stealing, right? And trying to kill them. So not only are they stealing from them, they're also trying to kill them as well. So yeah, so that's the thing that bugged the crap out of me in episode 1. It really, it needs to stop, and it needs to stop quickly. But as you'll say, we'll start talking about episode 2. It rolls into episode 2.
All right. I mean, Paul, I agree, but you have a valid point.
Neil, we're watching a Disney show, and There's no way to stun ships when you need to destroy the ship in order to tell the narrative. And when it's an animal and not a human being, Disney doesn't care. Disney wants Bad Batch to stun other clone troopers because they don't want to show the Bad Batch killing stormtroopers. It's a show meant mainly for children. And if that bothers you,
It's Star Wars.
No, I'm gonna side with Nev on this one, but I think
It's
that
Star
there's
Wars.
I think there's a reason for it. Like I don't think that they're just that it's just a matter of you're right that it is Star Wars. I think it's part of it is these are animals, right? And I don't necessarily think
what are
that
you
they're.
doing?
I'm moving my filter, because it's in my face.
You should, because everybody on audio is going to hear that.
I know. I'm
Why don't you mute while I'm talking?
Mute. Yeah,
and-
mute
and-
that.
and
Show
change-
some
No, no, no.
consideration.
I apologize.
I'm going to have to go back and edit to get.
my
I'm going to have to cut that entire part out because that sounded horrible.
Okay.
That.
I apologize. So let me start over, and you can cut that out.
I'll edit
Yes,
it back in. Go.
Yes, I agree with Nev here. I
What?
think, yeah, I do. But I think that it's not a matter of, it's just a children's show, dude. We saw episode 7. If you missed the first like 10 minutes of us just randomly talking on my stream, then you missed a bunch of random crap. But like. We talked about season 7 of the Clone Wars. That's brutal. That's violent. But that's Disney. That's Star Wars, right? And you saw some violent things. Now, I will say, though, you didn't actually see it, right? You saw, like, one clone trooper go down with a bullet shot or a laser shot, and then it was just, like, from side to side. Like, with the mall scene... You know, you didn't see Maul cutting people in half with, space metal, right? But it was implied, right? Now, I think to an extent, I think with the crabs, it's, yes, they're technically the bad guys. Yes, they're technically, they're being lethal. But they're being lethal because stuns against that shell wouldn't have done anything. Now, I think part of what we'll see is a change. We're gonna see them not wanting to give up on their brothers, right? But we're also gonna see them having to do so in certain situations. I mean, think about them stunning throughout like the first half of the season, and then maybe they get to Cody, and Cody's given the command, "You need to kill the Bad Batch." And he can't fight the chip, right? Are they going to let Cody go? No, they would kill him, right? And Cody is just an example. Like it could be Crosshair, it could be anybody who they have an emotional potential connection with, right? But to Paul's point, it is still a Disney show. These are the good guys. And to separate the good guys from the bad guys, I think stunning versus just straight murder, straight, death shots every time, or attempted at least, is going to make, at least for like kids, a bigger deal. I think it will go away. I think it will absolutely go away, probably by like maybe the next episode. We saw a part of it go away quite clearly in episode 2.
All right, let's first off, episode 1. How many crosshairless episodes do we give this out of 5?
I'm gonna be a little more strict with my judging this season.
Go ahead.
I've been pretty lenient in the past with everything.
We are growing as reviewers. It's okay.
Yes, I'm gonna say it's a 3. It is better than average. It was a fun episode. I've now watched it twice. I enjoyed it both times, But is it something that I'm going to come back to? Is it a story arc that I'm like, I gotta watch this again? No, but it was fun. It was entertaining. Did its job.
Neil?
I'll give it a 3.5.
That's surprising to me. I went under Neil.
I'm going to surprise you again, Thad. I give this a 1.5.
Ooh. All right.
It was too short. There was not enough exposition. And it was simply, hey, look, the Bad Batch is back. And this is what they're doing. This was not an episode to get me excited about the series. I honestly watched this episode and then went, if this is what it's going to be like, do I really want to watch episode 2?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. See, I look at it as kind of the arc, right? Had it come out alone, it would have been different. It would have. I think you would have been right. The fact that it came out with a second episode, I think to me kind of redeems it. So, but let's go on to episode 2 because I'm 50 minutes in, guys.
Go ahead, give us Nev. Do you want to take episode 2? I mean, you have a beef with this episode itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but my beef is with so we know that the two. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think the story was fine. The story was fine. You know that you've got the two teams that obviously they need to hook back up. Are they going to get out with any loot? What trials and tribulations are they going to come across?
Mm-hmm.
The Wrecker taking the tank turret and using that as a weapon. I thought was very MacGyver-esque, but
mm-hmm.
then came my criticism for the show is you've got him using lethal, and you've got Hunter still using stun in the exact same direction. Why? Makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever for Hunter to be firing stuns in the same direction that Wrecker is firing lethal, because he was blowing things up, and then it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me for them to be doing that. It doesn't. It makes no sense whatsoever.
I disagree.
And it jars me every time I'm watching them. Laying down fire, and Wrecker's firing that cannon like a tank, and Hunter's firing stuns. I'm like, what? Why? Hunter? Why aren't you stopping Wrecker from using lethal? Wrecker, why aren't you criticizing Hunter? Like, dude, I'm firing a tank turret at them. It's killing them. It's blowing them up, and you're using stuns. Why? What's the point? It makes no tactical or military sense whatsoever. And let's not forget, they're shooting at Nazis.
So, and they're definitely brainwashed Nazis. I mean, maybe literally, because they have the chip, right? So here's my point, my disagreement with this.
Well, now, we do need to recap the episode up to that point really quick. We get the conclusion of episode 1, hence why it's 1.5 for that episode. It doesn't have an ending. But they Omega gets really, really obsessed with bringing Dooku's war chest back to Sid. That she basically doesn't care who she gets
everyone in danger.
She puts everyone.
It was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
and in the and during the free fall of the cargo container, Tick gets his leg fractured with 150 pounds of pressure.
Yes. Kilograms.
Yes.
Kilograms. He wouldn't have done pounds.
Which is still 150.
Can you imagine how annoying Tech would be during coitus? It'd be like, I'm going to inseminate you with 1.2 billion
I'm going to give you 3 milliliters,
but only half of them are swimming. and the other ones are swimming in the opposite direction. So
Yeah. After he's finished, he'll be able to say, I just inseminated you with X amount of yeah.
Shut up, Tick.
It's just too he gets
Stop
too
it, Tech.
technical.
yeah,
Yeah.
poor. This is why Fee Genoa and him won't ever work out, right? This is probably why it won't happen. But here's my thing. Part of one of the reasons why I liked this is, it had the elements of like Indiana Jones, yes, but the character development of Omega, right? This was really interesting to me. Part of the reason why I liked episode 2 a lot is, one, it concluded episode 1. 2, it introduced this old guy, not a separatist, but a
regular run-of-the-mill citizen of a world the Empire has
exactly
suffocated.
Not just the Empire, but the separatists, Dooku, right? This is and I think that's a big difference. I think that's something that needs to be made, a point that needs to be made. Same too, because it is made to Tech. Tech and him are having this conversation, and Tech's like, "Ooh, a separatist thingy-mabob," and the guy's like, "Whoa, no, it is a whatever thingy-mabob."
Yeah, from this home planet.
Yeah, this planet wasn't always a separatist bastion. This planet was here before the separatist. And Tech's like, oh, I guess you're right. And then it's like, hey, geez, smarty pants, you didn't think about that? But he wouldn't have, right? Because Tech's only like 6 years old.
Yeah, that's very. That is very, very true.
Right, and for him, his entire life, they've been separatists. Right, but part of what I like about this episode is because Omega's still a kid. She's grown up a little bit, right? But she's still a child, right? She's unaltered, like Boba, right? And so here she is, trying to do like these missions and go on these missions. She's a kid. And she's being raised by these mercenaries, and that's what they are now, mercenaries, and it's like she doesn't know what life is. I have a feeling that Omega won't last with the Bad Batch. Right?
Really?
With these seasons, I think it'll come to a point where she's going to go to a place that's not war-torn. They might find someone who's going to raise her not to be in violence, not to be this.
I said that during season 1. I said that she wasn't going to be around.
And I think you're right. Right? Because we see her have this moment with this old guy. She shows him a kaleidoscope, and he's like, She's like, "What's this? Oh my gosh, you have jewels in this." He's like, "No, it's a toy. What's the use of a toy? To have fun, to be enjoyable? What are you?" Right? And then if you look at that with Echo and his words, meaning like, look, we did the right thing, saving Omega, but like, she's a kid. This isn't her life, right? She's stopping us from doing certain things, right? That would, I mean, like, an adult would hear that and be like, "Yeah, okay, that hurt, but I'll get over it." Well, at least, maybe they should, right? But then Omega, she goes and does this, like, crazy, reckless thing, and then because her feelings are hurt, right? I think Nev, you were probably right. I don't like saying that at all, but I think you were. I think that she's not going to last. I don't think she's going to die, but I don't think that she's going to be with the guys the whole series through.
It'll get closed out. I think it'll be Bail. I think I said that it would be Bail Organa.
Yeah.
Will be like, yeah, she's a kid. She needs to be a kid. You're training a kid to be a clone trooper, and that's just wrong, which it is.
Yeah.
So she needs to go. She needs to go somewhere and be a kid.
You want to hear
She
a crazy theory that just hit me? I'm just gonna throw it out there. What if Mon Mothma's daughter is actually Omega? Now, I'm only going to say this because we weren't in the room when Mon Mothma gave birth. I don't know, right? And our experience with senators at this point, are they adopt people? I mean, it could be a legitimate thing. I mean, is it probable?
No,
I doubt it.
there's been dialogue and discussions about the daughter, and yeah, no, it's not. There isn't even a tenuous link there. There's nothing there. That is tinfoil hat. The conspiracy that doesn't even make any sense. That really does. Yeah.
Where's my tinfoil hat? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple things. Yeah, that really doesn't make any sense. That one.
So let me ask. Darth Jill is over in my chat. Asks, does anyone still think that Omega might have the Force?
That's a good... No, I don't think she does.
I don't think she does either. I'm gonna say at this point it would have, I don't know, it would have shown itself in some way, and I just don't. I don't see it. It could come up, but I think it would be one of those like latent things that doesn't show very well. So I don't know. So.
All right. So now we've kind of caught up here. Omega goes out. Wrecker's shooting people down with a tank turret while Hunter's stunning.
He's become a transformer.
Yeah. So now, where were you?
Optimus Wrecker.
Tell us about it. I was like, wait a minute, we have to go back and review because.
So I do think one of the cool things now Wrecker is made out to be kind of this big buffoon, right? This big idiot. But one of the things that we know about Wrecker is he's really good with destruction, really good with destructive things, right? There have been a couple of episodes where he's like, I don't know, like rigged an explosive device, right, on the fly. It's not often, but like he's done it a couple of times, and so like. This is in keeping with his character, but at the same time, it's fun for me as a fan of Wrecker. I love Wrecker. I want to make a T-shirt with Wrecker on it. It says, "I'm gonna wreck it." That would be awesome. I'd be breaking so many copyrights, I'm sure.
All from Disney.
All just from Disney. Yeah, I'd just be sued over and over again. But like one of the things that's interesting is like he's not just an idiot. He's not just a big guy who doesn't think. Yes, he doesn't think like Tech thinks or like Hunter thinks or like others, but he still has some really good use. And it was fun for me to see him like, all right, watch this. And it was like, I don't know. This is what like a redneck MacGyver would do in my mind. Like I just thought it was fun, Now, was Wrecker blowing everybody up? Yeah, he was. Now, was Hunter stunning them so that Wrecker could have an easy shot? Maybe. Maybe that's why he was stunning people, right? Because then if you get hit with the cannon...
Wrecker was improvising, adapting, and overcoming. That's what a good soldier does.
Yeah,
you improvise,
right?
You adapt, you overcome.
Yeah, so to me it was fun to see Wrecker do that, and then, I hope he continue. The best part of the episode when it comes to Wrecker was at the very end when they're flying off, and he's like cuddling the cannon. Like he's like holding it like it's my new baby. Like it was a fun moment. Like everyone's got like this sadness kind of going on.
It's the new Wrecker meta. As a canon.
Yeah, and that's the meta that I want to see. So I don't know. It was I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. So, Paul, what were you gonna say?
I just, I was trying to figure out what you were going on about Wrecker because we had to catch up really quick.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I'm off my ADHD meds. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I've been
Now,
off.
Before we get to the final scene of episode 2,
All right.
I mean, was there anything else that you had to say?
No, I just really like that old guy. Not that I like him as a character. I like him as a plot device. To show that the universe wasn't divided into good and bad. Right? There isn't a light and dark. There's just people. You know? And this guy was just a person. And I liked that. I liked seeing that. The humanity of it all. To me, it was just nice.
Okay. Neil, any other thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a it's just a run of the mill vanilla episode, really. You know, the mission goes bad, and they need to improvise, adapt, and overcome in order to escape. But obviously, on this occasion, they weren't able to get away with any loot. So yes, they got out with their lives, but that they weren't able. I kept on thinking that they were going to fly back and sneak to the that little grassy tree area where Wrecker put the first, because Wrecker, you've got to remember, they took a box out and they put it, and Wrecker put it off to one side before returning to the cargo vessel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always assuming in the back of my head that they'd get the ship, they'd all get back together, and they'd be like, right, okay, there's this one crate that we could probably sneak to because we did sneak to that place before,
right?
And then they'd at least get out with something, but there was no return to it. So it's like I couldn't quite understand why. Because they'd sacrificed a lot and they'd risked a lot, and to not even to not leave with anything at all kind of seemed a bit, well, that you could have written that they could have given that 30 seconds at the end. Yeah, I just think that I really do feel that they could have given that 30 seconds, they could have given that 30 seconds at the end. But instead, the 30 seconds that we got at the end was the Imperial officer, bitching to the clone trooper captain about his report, saying, hey, look, we got visual confirmation of 2 people from Clone Force 99, and the Imperial officer's like, well, I'm an evil SOB, and I kind of already told everyone that they're dead, so I need you to fudge your report. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do a false report. And it's like, before you even see the Imperial officer pointing a gun at him and shooting him, you're like, he's gonna kill you. You get, right, that your superiors are evil pieces of crap, right? They're evil pieces of crap. If you don't do what you're told, if you do not follow your orders, like a good little Nazi soldier, you're gonna get killed. Now that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
he was killed.
Yeah. Now I've got to say, one of 2 probably very things. If you've ever written a report, the last thing you want to do is rewrite it, because like you've done it. You've spent time. It's right. You don't want some pissant guy coming in and be like, no, this is wrong. And be like, whoa, buddy. This is accurate. I'm not writing this. Now, I think a lot of people would have been like, I'm not changing it. Not because they were like, look, this is right. Because they just didn't want to do the work again. Right? I don't blame him for not wanting to rewrite the report. Look, you jerk. I'm not going to do this. You write your own damn report. Sorry.
and omit the Bad Batch.
Yeah. You right.
All right. So, I mean that right there was I called it in a way, if you will, when watching it.
Mhm.
I was like,
He's gone.
this guy's gonna die. Crosshairless episodes out of 5. How much do we give? Episode 2.
Neil?
It's another 3.5 for me. It's entertaining. It's good entertainment. But it ain't perfect. It's far from perfect. And the whole, picking and choosing when they do and don't use lethal it's bugging the crap out of me. So yeah, I really, really want that to stop.
I'm gonna stick with a 3, and like if I look at the 2 episodes together, I would say 3.5. I think Nev's right on, but episode to episode, I'm gonna say it's still a 3. It does a good job wrapping up the arc. I think it's fine, and it's fun.
For me, 2.5. Average episode, average ending, average overall.
All right.
So
what does that put us at? Like 3.5? 3?
3.5 for that one, and a 2 for episode 1. So,
Hold on.
I mean, speculation time. What you said? The Solitary Clone is episode 3's title.
Yes.
So, we'll find
Rex,
out
it'll
about
be
the
about
Solitary
Rex.
Clone tomorrow. You think it's going to be Rex? I think you're right. I
think it could be.
I think it's probably Rex, because we know we're going to see Rex because of the trailer.
Yeah. Can I go on a tangent real quick? Just a brief one.
Really quick, because we're wrapping up for this week.
I know this may infuriate both of you. Apparently, Vince McMahon has just sold the WWE to Saudi Arabia.
What?
Yeah. Darth Gillis, who I trust because of his lists of movies and TV shows.
Let's pour one out. Let's pour one out for the WWE divas.
Yeah.
Let's pour one out for the WWE divas.
You mean like the divas like Hulk Hogan and
No, as in there will be, if it's Saudi owned and Saudi controlled, you can kiss goodbye to the divas.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah,
Stephen Muehlhausen Jr. does say that it's in the public investment fund. That is definitely a tangent.
Yeah, that's a way tangent, but I was like, interesting. So the episode 3 could be about Rex. I think we could see a connection with Crosshair, for sure. If it's with Rex, will we see Ahsoka? Will we get a mention of Ahsoka?
Probably a mention, but I don't think that we're gonna see her.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Ahsoka in the Bad Batch.
All right. I think
We might see Leia. But I don't think we'll see Ahsoka.
I'm not ruling anything out. I think Ahsoka could absolutely be connected. I think we could see Fulcrum. I think there's a lot of stuff that we could see. And part of the reason why I think that is because Bad Batch ends as the Mandalorian season 3 begins. And they overlap. There is some overlap within the two shows. As of now, they may push Mando back, but there is overlap. And so I think it's very possible that we could see at least a little bit. I think we might get a mention of Ahsoka early on. I think we could see her by the end, for sure. I would not be surprised at all.
I think there's going to be a toddler Leia rescue or something silly like that.
Probably, where she runs through trees. So, yeah, I could see that. So,
because we know, because I still think that I do genuinely think that Bail Organa's going to show up at some point during the season, and with him having a new kid, that's where with him having Leia, that's why I think that the even though she won't speak, she won't have any lines, it'll just be a cartoon kid, a cartoon baby / toddler.
Yeah.
All right.
Very possible. Very possible. All right. Gentlemen,
what do you got coming up on the channel, Thad?
Tomorrow night I'll be streaming my GAC 3v3, randomly goofing off, and then Saturday again, maybe Sunday if I get a chance.
Yep. I think for the first time since the new version, I forgot to sign up. But there's been a lot of stuff going on in my world. So
I can imagine.
I regularly forget to sign up to GAC on my alt account.
Yeah. Nev, what do you got coming up? Are you doing anything fun on the show?
Oh, there will be
or
some,
not on the show, on the channel.
There will definitely be some more modern warfare. There will be some more modern warfare streams, and I'm also going to start streaming some Minecraft, because my daughter and I have got a new world rocking at the moment, and
nice.
It's in its infancy, and I said to her that the next time we have a decent session going, that I will stream it. So yeah, I'm going to be streaming some daddy-daughter Minecraft sometime soon as well.
Nice.
All right.
That's
well,
awesome.
I'm changing the title to Nev and his gaming addiction. So that'll be the title when you go live. You can change it if you want.
Okay. That's the Twitch. That's the Twitch alert, is it?
That'll be the Twitch alert. Yes.
Yeah. No, because I like to put something, interesting. I like to put something interesting in the description of what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get it all done. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the new The Escape Podcast original version. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Give us some feedback. Stop in the Discord server. We'd love to see you. But most of all, what do we always say? Be nice to each other, damn it.
Push the button!
And remember to smile.
And stay nerdy.
Love each other.
Toodles.
Push the button.
Oh, my button. I'll push your button, Nev.